Hello everyone. MP asked me to do a quick 20-second introduction to the following video. As you can see, I'm at home office with the kids, so I'll make it very quick. So it's going to be a 30-minute, 40-minute video. Let us know in the info card if you like it or not. The content was so nice, it was so interesting to talk to Anna and Steffen that yeah, we found it very hard to cut something off. So please let us know if that's something you like or if you prefer the shorter videos, and thanks for sharing. Wo geht's hin? Taxi bestellen. On the way. We are, it says for the name, at our friends from Kartenmacherei. And this is my first time with a red. Yay! Alex, grüß dich wieder. Hi.
Hallo.
MP, Alex. We are at Kartenmacherei. We don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
So maybe, yeah, thank you for having us here, showing us around. Not all of us are German, so they don't understand Kartenmacherei. What does Kartenmacherei mean? It's actually very, I mean, the word explains itself. That's probably why you never have to explain.
Yeah, in German we don't have to. Actually, that's not true. If you talk to developers, they sometimes think we do Google Maps kind of stuff.
Seriously, okay.
So yeah,
yeah, it is confusing.
So basically, it's stationery is the English right word. So it's wedding invitation cards, birth announcement cards, Christmas cards, photo calendars. So a very individualized product. You can go onto Kartenmacherei, the website, and configure your cards based on a couple of templates we have, and then get them the next day if you wish. And yeah, we are market leader in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, expanding in France with another name.
Nice.
But that's just basically Kartenmacherei as, let's say, a couple of Germans know it. But actually today was the day where we launched our beta. Our
I
new,
liked it. I was the first one to
yeah,
like
you
it on
did.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, you did like it on LinkedIn. And the whole idea is that Kartenmacherei as a brand is not everything anymore in our company, but rather moves a little to the side and makes space for new ideas which we are working on. So basically venture building of new ideas, profiting from Kartenmacherei.
Yeah. And actually, Kartenmacherei is a customer of us for 2 years or something.
Yeah,
Did we start gsuite with you? I don't even
yeah,
know. Because,
right. I mean, we had gsuite before, but we had gsuite and Office 365, and nobody was really daring to use Gmail, etc. So that's when we got your help, and then we switched off all Microsoft stuff, besides a couple of small Excel licenses.
Okay, now don't listen, Microsoft.
Oops.
No.
Yeah, no, but now we are using mainly gsuite, thanks to you guys, and we did the onboarding with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also how we met.
Yeah.
And then we saw you have an amazing office.
Thank you.
Not only with an amazing view on the Elfi, on the harbor in Hamburg.
Not today.
Not today, but of course not today.
Of course not.
But anyhow, amazing to look through.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also have an amazing office interior, but also what we noticed in first place, you have an amazing culture.
Yes, we do.
So tell us a little bit what you do, what your, how many people are you, how many square meters do you have, just a bit background.
Yeah, so basically we were starting in 2010. We were bootstrapped, so no external finance. I think that always helps in terms of culture. So basically we were just starting slow and then became bigger over time. But from internal growth, I would say, and now we have roughly 170 people in 3 offices and a couple of remote by now already. Yeah, so 3 offices, Munich, in the outskirts of Munich in Gilching and Hamburg. And Munich is the smallest one, growing quickly. We're looking into new office spaces. Just about to sign a contract there.
Okay, okay. So you don't need any recommendations.
And we need it for like 2 years.
But now you're done.
And now we're hopefully signing next week.
Yeah, you just mentioned that especially in Hamburg, I don't know how it is in Munich, it's difficult to find a space. And that it was also kind of challenge here because you have 2 floors, but you only need 1/3 or half the space, or
Well, it's been a challenge because the first year we were in a small office. Steffen took care of that. The next year we needed double of the area, and the next year the double of the area. And at the end we say, okay, let's look for something bigger in case we keep on luckily increasing the amount of people and our good job. Then we will have enough space to expand and not keep on moving. And therefore, we also found out that the floor downstairs was about to be rented, and it was the last one. So we took some measurements and also rented, so in the future we can use it as well.
Yeah, as you know, best office space is like the opposite of agile, at least in the classic area. And basically we had two choices. And one was to grow out of our lovely office at some point in the next 2 years. Exactly, like we did 3 times in Hamburg. And since we don't want to go away here anymore, at least not for the time being, that's why we decided we just rent the second floor as well, or at least 60% of the second floor, and then sublease it to another company, which worked great, to be honest, which is really good.
So you would definitely do that again?
For sure.
And we have the same vision for Munich, as it took us, Munich was really, really hard to find something that suit us.
Yeah, way harder than Hamburg.
Harder. We visited 4 places.
What was the challenges?
Yeah. It's quite simple. Like an example, you basically, as a company which has not been there around for longer than 8 years, you have to rent an office for 7 to 10 years in 2 years, and you have to sign now. And that's for us. That's like opposite of any business decision we are normally taking. Yeah, but that's the thing. Now if we get the place which we are trying to sign now, then it will be starting first quarter 2020, and we're in negotiations with them like since a couple of months.
Oh wow!
And it will be for 7 years contract.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
But it's challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully it helps us to keep on hiring the people we're looking for in Munich.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Is it the same as in here? Because you mentioned you have, I know you for the details, because yesterday I thought it was 19 nations, now you corrected today, it's 18 nations. I was very disappointed. So you have 18 nations working here in Hamburg and Munich?
Yeah, combined there are 18 nations. And it's not about the people from international backgrounds, but it's where we need the professional areas. And some, like developers, we find them more in the north of Germany, which is Hamburg right now. And in other areas, we find the professionals we're looking for in Munich. Therefore, we started this small office. It was just a project a year ago. And we had only 6 persons there, and they were happy to work there. Now we are 28 and increasing. So we are kind of desperate to move to the new office.
Did I get it right? You sticking to both locations because you say it's you get the kind of knowledge, the kind of people only on these locations?
Yeah, it's basically we had big discussions about it, and honestly speaking, actually some people were in favor of focusing on one location because simply it's easier, right? And then we actually took a very tough decision. And changed it the next day after sleeping over it. So the decision was, we said we focus one area in one location and another team or tribe, how we call like the group of a couple of teams, in another location. And we slept over it, and I came back to the office next day and I said to my brother, that's bullshit. Honestly, it doesn't work. Why? Because if somebody wants to change a team, that's something we want to encourage, personal growth. But if you then tell them, hey, you can't because you're in Munich, so you have to move to Hamburg, so no way. And in the end, we basically made up a spectrum saying, like, we can choose, like, if you want high-performing teams, which compromise are you willing to take? And in my point of view, the compromise of being not in the same location but with the right people gets you to something like near 90% of the high-performing team. But vice versa, if you are in the right location, but you have the wrong people, you get to 20% or something like that.
Yes.
So we rather, since we're a small brand, not everybody knows us, we're happy that we can fish in 2 markets or 3, or even expand it by having people in other areas, so that we can just increase the talent we have.
So the 18 nations you mentioned, I assume I hear product, wedding invitations, birth invitations. I would assume there's 70%, 80% women working on, nice graphics and all these kind of things.
And you're right. Yeah.
Where does these 18 nations come from? And how do you connect them? What do you do to make everyone feel at home? Because it feels like the minute you walk in here, it's something that makes your company, your brand, your team, family very, very special. You immediately feel the warmth. It feels like family here. It really does.
Cool, thanks.
Thanks.
Something was achieved.
Yes. Well, basically to start a little background.
It's not only the Christmas tree.
No. I'm also come from Panama, so yeah, I end up being here with part of the family band.
Yeah.
It's really nice to come to a land and you can feel like not only at home but also at work you feel welcome.
Yeah.
And sometimes we miss our families or relatives, and we just try to bond with the people we work together. We are all together here. And so we're starting some small traditions, like it's very important to sit down everybody for a lunch or for gathering, a coffee.
What do you do exactly? Like, give us some ideas.
We have on Fridays, my mother-in-law.
You mentioned it.
My mother, yeah.
Yeah, right now she's happy to cook. It's her passion, so she really likes to take care of people. So she comes here every Friday and cook for the whole staff.
Wow.
And
How many people are here at this point?
It's actually funny because the home office ratio is for us vice
On a
versa than
Friday,
for
it's
any
like
other
zeros.
company. Right, on a Friday it's almost zero. So I would say that right now she has to fight for like 35,
Wow.
something
35 to
more than that
50
dishes.
when
She
they're
has some
all
help
here.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly like Anna said, right? We have lots of people who come here without family, who are quite young, second, third job. And basically what we realized is that they are looking for something more, right? So, and my mother loves to fill that role in a way.
Yeah,
sweet.
So yeah, she's going around the office, taking care of them. I mean, exchanging lots of hugs, and she loves it. For her, being around a lot
Is
of
she a little
international.
bit I know in America it's quite common that you have a happy, like a people happiness, like Claude, for example, at Vena Media, who we love to meet in New York. People, chief of heart, I think it's called.
Actually, that's what we should call her.
Yeah, she's of heart
She calls
perfect.
herself only team support, which is kind of German.
Yeah.
No, she's really more than that, and we really prove it. We offer home office for our colleagues. They can decide when they want to come here to work, or if a flexible day they'd rather to stay doing home office. But it's proven. Fridays, when she's
When
here,
chief of heart is in the house.
is the only day we really realize everybody sit at the same time to eat together, to share some experiences of the week or what they're going to do on the weekend. We also have every 2 Tuesdays, because we have release and deployment on the website. Our developers come very early. So we started with the tradition to also offer them breakfast.
Nice.
And not
The
only
funny
for
thing
them,
is
but
that we actually now release way more often. It's just
Yeah.
we kept the tradition that Tuesday mornings we have the breakfast. So, and at the beginning it was like we started with that 2013 or something, and but at the beginning it was just for the people. It was really like we needed to get them
developers,
food
Yeah,
because
they were
they
really
started
early.
at 6, and then we said, wait, why not everybody? And then, but it all like what's important for me to mention is that it sounds all kinds of new workish, right? But I think we never did anything because we wanted to be new work. We rather did it because step by step things made sense. And the same thing with my mother. She started bringing some lunch for 8 people or something. And
Yes,
every
we were less.
other month she tells me, Steffen, it's not gonna work anymore. I can't keep up with all these people. And she still loves it. It's just her way of
Yeah.
expressing that she needs help, yeah.
And we're already looking for the way to also do something similar in Munich and Gilching, so our
You
colleagues
just need
there
to
are
find
not
some
like,
mothers.
Yeah, it's not so easy to find
Please come.
some ready to half retire mom who wants
Yeah.
to cook for the team. But,
Yeah. So if you're a half retired mom
Please.
in
definitely
Munich,
let us know.
Let us know. There are lots of people like, we also want a mommy here who takes care of us.
Yeah, but actually, it's a very nice loop back to the office space, because for us that's one of the biggest challenges when looking for an office, to actually negotiate a kitchen into the office.
yeah. And there's one here and there's another. Why don't we?
We can take a
Yeah.
look
Like
around.
walk a bit around.
Yes. Sure.
See where the 18 nations.
Let's see how many we find today. Yeah.
Your mom has to
So here's kind of our living room area where we can use it for different purposes. They can sometimes take breaks from the workstations and just come here together and work with the computers, enjoy the view. They also use the tribune to sit down there.
Do people use the tribune?
Often,
actually?
yeah.
They do.
They
And
take chances.
Does anyone play chess?
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
they do.
also that they do. It's like I don't get that game. I'm not intelligent enough, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, this is. What is this?
It was actually a brain teaser, which was used metaphorically in recruiting like years back, and then some colleague brought it as an actual thing, and it's kind of a requisite back to that time.
Do people bring own like personal things to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
lot?
Also that
Dogs, for example.
that binocular.
What's her name again?
Klopsy.
Klopsy.
Like, that's the one
Yeah.
you saw today, probably. Then there's Nala, then there's Maya. Nala actually grew up in
pets
this
are
office.
allowed
Yeah.
in the company.
Yep, but
That's
nowadays
friendly.
there are, let's say, guidelines for it, which there's a dog responsible person who doesn't have a dog, so to work out all this stuff when a new dog comes in.
What are the guidelines? What are the...
For example, all the dogs have to meet on neutral space outside before a new one can be brought in. And by now, not everybody can bring their dog anymore, but the ones who are here, they have the right, because basically the people got the dog and they cannot get rid of it, right?
They get along together.
Exactly,
but
they have to get along. They are not allowed to go through people's stuff. They are not allowed to come into a meeting because people were too much distracted from it. But besides that, they are like all day around begging
make
for
people
food
happy.
and
It's
yeah.
convenient for the ones we cannot have dogs yet for different reasons. I'm really happy that I can pet the other ones. I already bought some shoes for dogs, and they come to me, and I really love it.
You're bribing them all the time.
So there's also someone brought.
Yeah, that's a funny story.
What's the story?
There is a funny story behind that one. Yeah,
What is that?
you tell it.
It was from the old office, and there was a hotel window on the other side.
side?
And the guy sometimes looked like, oh my God, what's going on? Lots of stories happen in the hotel, and they
Okay.
were sneaking around. But
I can
we
imagine.
we
So
brought
people
it.
actually buy these to spy on other people in the hotel.
Let's skip to the next topic. Yeah. What you see here is basically the biggest reason when we came after like looking for a year for an office in Hamburg, we came into this office space, obviously without any walls or anything. It was, how do you call it in English? Raw building, I don't know.
Yeah.
And we came in here and we were like, perfect.
We don't want
Because
anything.
of this perspective, right? Because you can build the center of the office here. You can get a place for everybody to get together, for meetups, for lunch, for breakfast, to just hang out. And then you have the calmer areas into both directions. But everybody meets here, and that's like,
This is the
we
center
love this.
point.
So is there a difference between
By now there
the
is.
swing and the swing?
Yeah.
Basically, we there have the workstations of Kartenmacherei, which was our core company.
Is still.
It's our company because now it's in evolution. This is the midpoint where we all gather, also for meetups. And in the middle, we concentrate the meeting areas. We have meeting rooms there. And before
So you
last
just keep
year,
it separate for a reason.
yes, because of the different kinds of activities. We're trying to design the office in activity-based design, which means we want to integrate 4 Cs, collaboration areas, communication areas, concentration areas, and chillout areas where people can take some breaks. And based on also what our colleagues are doing, we are starting to create the areas they need to flow during the day. Yeah. We find out there is a good area for the meeting rooms because when somebody's concentrated, they don't have the flow of too much people around. When they just want to get a break, they'll come here. We meet there.
Can we still disturb them when
Sure.
they
Yes, of
concentrated?
course.
Sure, they love every disturbance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and basically now, there you see basically everybody working there is for Kartenmacherei, and over there is everything venture building unit, besides the meeting rooms, but we will go there later.
In case of fire, and please first.
Yeah. Yeah, we still have some nerdy comments on the walls, it's good.
Yeah, so what we try to do is that our squads, our teams, they work and sit down together so they can collaborate the closest. It's not that they are just sitting randomly.
I'm curious that my wife doesn't mention this, but that's like one of her pet projects, because she hates that in an open space, like we have these beautiful desks, and then you have one of
Thousands
these
rope
blocks next to it
containers,
everywhere, container everywhere. So she said, I want in the central area, everybody who wants one gets their locked.
What do people keep in there? Just personal stuff? Or?
Personal
Everything they
belongings, and because we are starting this home office option, and lots of them they are flexible to come to work. We're also learning that flexible desks are possible to create as long as people put their personal belongings in the lockers.
Do people have flexible desks
Basically, we have to start it in Munich right now simply because the office gets too small. And then if you have like 30%, 40% home office ratio, then you can simply get more people a desk if the desk isn't fixed.
And
right?
when you start evaluating a fixed desk versus a flexible desk, honestly, there are people who really need to go, like you, every day to work and not can stay, and others prefer 2-3 days home office, and then these places are empty half of the time. And then we complain like we don't have enough space, but then you come to an office which is half empty the whole time.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good also.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then that's the point when you invest and think, okay, let's do what makes sense, and start analyzing. We can
One of our core values, let's do what makes sense.
We're still missing the branding part because we are looking now in the direction to put each topic like moms, celebration cards,
and organized here.
basically in the different squads. And it means we work in cross-functional teams. Maybe Stefan can explain a little more about it.
Basically, each cross-functional team has one specific customer focus, and then you have every function in that squad you need to actually fulfill the customer need. So we start from like external customer facing over there, which is like, for example, moms who focus on all young moms who are our customers, like you.
Maybe not young, but
Yes.
I'm a mom.
Your youngest is not too old yet, right? And then there is newlyweds, which is newlyweds or about to get married. Celebrations, which is basically 40, 50, 60 birthday.
so basically you just move from corridor to corridor, depending how old you are. You start with 20 and then 25, 30, 35.
The team is still diverse, right?
So the amazing part is that we don't have, sorry to interrupt you, we don't have departments like here are all the developers, here are all the graphic designers, here are all the marketings, but basically per product we have one expert on each brand, like one editorial content, one marketing, and they work together and focus more on their own product. Instead of waiting like the developers come with a solution and the marketings come with the advertising for one product. But we keep on having a lead from expertise of each specialty, which they gather once a week and exchange what are the topics. For example, if one graphic designer has a trouble with something, specifically of that, they can then exchange.
Yeah, but the interesting part is that they basically sit, the capacity and the person sits in the cross-functional team. So you still have, we call it chapter, it's aligned with the Spotify model. The chapter is still there, which is the old function. So, for example, all the graphics people, they meet once a week and they have their Slack channel and they share how to work. But on what to work is determined in the cross-functional squad. And
we have a shower.
Oh, you have a shower?
We have a shower.
Do people use it?
Yes.
I use it 3 times a week.
Oh, wow. So you run to work? Or?
No, we actually have a small group who does HIIT, like high-intensity interval training in the office in the mornings at 8.
Another small meeting room.
I was wondering, is Little Friends the dog's room?
Hi, sorry to interrupt you. That was good. Yeah. Another small meeting room and also to relax when they want.
It used to be the silent room, but we needed one more meeting room, so now we converted 2 more rooms to meeting rooms, and we have them on the other side, a bigger silent room now.
I don't see a lot of your cotton from Kartenmacherei.
Yeah, that's the topic.
It's one thing we always screw up with. We always have fun out of it. We have now some in the reception area and some more over there, but
that was the topic I started. Like we're gonna start branding the offices.
You mean like everyone gets like its own?
They will have their. Not only we will adjust the acoustic elements around the office because it's quite calm and not loud. Really,
It's really calm here, yeah. With
Yes.
so many people. How many people are working here right now?
right now in this area, 44.
But you don't. Is it because people behave, or what did you do to absorb the
We
sound?
actually
Like,
have
Have you heard of the
Scenes,
Wirtshaus
Dickinson?
effect? It's basically describes the effect. One person talks loud, then the other one next to them talks louder because they need to be understood, and then you have this craziness, right?
so I'm gonna go shut up and go on.
No, the thing is, if you help with acoustics against even the effect starting, then
It only, yeah, it
then
can support the good, but
exactly.
also the negative.
Yeah, but we did a lot of acoustics, like everything you see in the desk. That's like, I don't know if you
And
call it the same in
also-
English, but active acoustics, right? Which really absorbs and not just looks nice. The same goes for those panels, the
The
roof,
ones on the ceiling,
the ceiling. Yeah.
integrating plants in the areas, things that break the sound around.
So is that a sticky note, a sticky foil, or is it just?
We
only there all the
experimented
time?
with how many different
We were
whiteboard
looking for so many
solutions?
different products that we can stick around the walls. This is sticky one, but
Yeah.
it's glands, is shiny, so
Yeah,
we
you
tried
don't
to
like
look
it.
another
Yeah.
one. We will show you another one.
Ah, you see, Klopsy just bumped me. Like I
Klopsy,
told you yesterday,
hey.
she doesn't know how big she is. Like that's the only problem.
Yeah, but she's adorable. Yeah, so here back to our eating area, we wanted to create some atmosphere that feels cozy. And something I learned from Germany, especially from North, is really dark in winter.
What?
What? I don't know what she's talking about.
Weather, what do you mean?
So we tried to brought some warm light to it, and it's really, really cozy.
You are officially my favorite office. There's Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, the team gets asked every other month. We have to order new ice cream, and then they get a list of which ice creams they want to order. And what I didn't like is that they only chose the vegan Ben and Jerry's. So yeah, it's only half
It was
as
not my
good.
choice. We have
not
to be
dirty
fair.
enough.
Yeah, one of our Brazilian colleagues was just in vacation, and she came back and brought some candies to share. That's an example of how international
Banana?
we are.
Yeah.
Banana
As
candy.
Brazil.
Yeah, you asked earlier like how it actually started with the international people, and basically.
And Fernand from
You
France.
can go ahead and get a coffee if you want. Don't worry. So it's like again, it was never the intention. It just started, right?
But it was supported.
Yeah, but at the beginning it was hard. Like
Yeah.
at the beginning it was just a compromise we took in terms of developers. Because we didn't find any good ones in Germany, so we started to get people from Ukraine, and they integrated so well. But obviously they also started some change because then we started to communicate more English. And by now I would say it's 70% English, 30% German. For some very important information or sharing, we do it bilingual, so to really make sure that everybody is on board. But mostly all Slack, all Jira, all Workplace is English. And by that, then you suddenly are open to not care about anymore where people come from. You just need talent. And by that, it suddenly exploded. Yeah, maybe one last thing about this area is when she started to design it, she always was looking for, that's what she explained to me, something in between WeWork style, but also more homey, right? Because like, for example, those desks, they come from a company which does desks for home, right? And lots of other stuff is like that, combined out of different things.
Yeah,
and
like we needed to
that's the
integrate
part.
acoustic elements here because of the environment, but with plans, with details, they don't have to come everything from office and Richtung furniture, but from home.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's our
Just to make sure.
one of our missions and visions that we created for the next year is that we want in our employee impact area, we care about our colleagues, and is to make them feel like home, like they belong to here.
Maybe one
So-
short explanation, employee impact. We have two people teams. One is talent relations.
Hi,
They
Sabine.
basically have the external perspective, meaning they try to get the best talent and tell everybody out there how cool it is to work here. And then you have the internal team, which is employee impact. Their vision is to make everybody more happy and more efficient at Kartenmacherei.
Yeah.
And they're both cross-functional teams. So again, talent relations, they have recruiting, they have employer branding. And employee impact, they have architects, they They have agile coaches, they have IT service, like everything you need, office management, so everybody can work better. Yeah. Hello, Sabine.
This room has a particular story. If you can see our horse in that picture with the post-its that it has.
Yeah.
It was a huge challenge, so we decided to create this room in honor of our Fury.
It's a software project. It's basically our own in-house developed shop software, and those are all the stories which were on the board. Yeah. Which were all finished by the developers. Yeah, we're very proud about that because it's basically for free.
And it's automatic.
It's we looked at these things in several other offices, and we always wanted them, but we were never willing to pay like these crazy fees for these displays. So since we're using gsuite, there's an open connection, and this one is basically an open source software, which is for free, and it's just a Raspberry Pi with a display, which some of the developers hooked up on a hackathon. And now we are able to see what's booked, and you can quickly do a 15-30 minutes booking here, but it's linked to G Suite calendar.
So it's linked to the calendar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can it's not super fast, but you can see here full schedule, like what meetings are coming up, etc.
Nice.
And it basically cost 130 euros one-time payment for these displays, and that's it.
And we
I can
just
see you're
use
very
it.
proud of that.
I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
And actually, it was not my idea. Some people came up with it and said, like, we bought this prototype without asking. They just did it, and I said, I don't believe it works. And they put it there, and it's like,
Nice.
it's great.
And we're gonna start integrated to all of the meeting rooms. Yeah. So.
Okay, so finally we see a little bit of.
And the cards, yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's the idea. We want to start presenting our cards, like from one series, from Save the Date until the Einladungskarten, Dankekarten, Menükarten. So like here we also start putting, because the girls did the presentations for a wedding fair, so we decided to use them around the office, and we just started, we hung it last week.
Yeah, and basically, this one is maybe not the best example because it's a German word, but basically all those room names are based on our top-selling designs.
This Blickfan, you think, what is Blickfan? Yeah, there are card series. You can also interrupt them a little. They say we can pass by. So people are walking actually. It's not that, hi, Paulina and Sebastian.
So actually they're doing pair programming right now.
Nice.
As far as I can see. Sorry? Mob programming because it's more than two. Thank you. And you see, actually, when we thought about doing acoustics for the meeting rooms, I really loved Anna's idea. Why don't you just use the best acoustic element you use in every house? You just put curtains, and it again makes it a little more homey, a little more natural, etc. Yeah.
Of course, we also have some elements like Ofed from the Orgatet. We're really happy with them, and we decided to go for these whiteboards because they are matte, they are magnetic, they are clean. Sorry, I will delete some info. You can do it with a hand. It's really, really practical.
Those are our favorite from all the tests we did.
Yeah,
and I can imagine, since Anna, you did a lot of testing.
Yes.
We
You will see the next test over there.
all Orgatech looking for inspiration and for the best products to bring. So I was really amazed of all the possibilities.
Yeah, this is basically MP's favorite room probably because it's the photo shooting room.
Yeah,
There's no video going on yet. But yeah, basically it's all kind of stuff the team needs to make beautiful product pictures, right?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, but here we can see our cards, and we can, take the pictures here. Our graphic designers work here and place the product. So
we call Christmas with a cactus.
I think our professionals do a better job at arranging those things.
Yeah, and this is the new area that we're starting to use since a couple of months, and we're gonna bring more elements here because they just started to be our new venture group. Yeah. We came with our new parent.
Yeah, that's the logo which we just talked about earlier. Better.
I saw it, and of course it's. Is it from the Elfie, like the thing?
It's funny that you say no.
No, it's not.
Obviously, it's the exponential curve. Come on, but maybe the designer was. the designer who came up with the logo looked like for 7 days frustrated out the window. Maybe that was subconscious. behavior. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where did your brother hide?
He's over there.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah,
He's acting like he works concentrated.
So yeah, here we were working in the last 2-3 weeks intensively to get the logo for the new parent company, and it's today the release, the official release.
Yeah.
So we have a better company.
Should have brought champagne.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. And here you see the third whiteboard product we tried.
Yeah, and which one is your favorite?
My favorite is
Lean
the one
text,
in the...
definitely.
That one
Yeah.
in the meeting room, and yours is this one?
No, mine too. It's the most expensive, but it's also the best one.
But at least give us the flexibility to write all around, because they're also always brainstorming. Well, this is the area in progress. I hope that in a couple of months you can come and visit us again, and you can see then the change when we already get.
Do you have these for the reason that you can...
Yeah.
She loved it when she saw them like 3 years ago, and she said,
I
I
cannot-
want Tipton.
Cannot say it sits still so long. So when I can move a little, also it's human behavior. We cannot stay so still.
I saw them in one of your videos, right?
Yeah. And like when the minute I was like, okay, I don't get it. I was talking to them and I'm like, it makes total sense,
Yeah.
right? Because it moves that, like you get air through your spine and you
Yeah.
can think, and especially it comes from, when children, when they sit and play,
Yeah.
they always move, and they always like this, you always tell them like, don't move, sit still. And
Yeah.
I have to
doesn't
say
make
this.
Don't do that? Okay, good to know. Thank you.
No, actually, the tip tones from Vitra,
Yeah.
I really, I don't know why I gave my chair, the ID mesh is also from Vitra, to a colleague, and I use it randomly to start working, but as a office chair, and it really holds perfectly my back. I didn't have pain in the back in the whole day, and for a whole week, I use it. Nice. And Stefan, I want to use the Tipton as a working chair, which is ergonomic. People say no, but it really worked perfectly fine. So.
Yeah, so this room is going to be developed into the silent room. So
A
no
focus
talking
room.
allowed.
Nice.
Like a bibliothèque, like people want to concentrate, and in this hour they don't want to be disturbed. They can come here and work. That we know that we should not come in to look for somebody.
How do you find out what the people want? Like, do you ask them? Do you make like a questionnaire? Do you? Is it just
Oh
everyone
God,
can
that's
say
her
what
big
they want,
research
or-
It was a
process.
long process of understanding how, because we design, as architects, you design for different clients. And I have to understand that my clients are my colleagues and need to learn how they work, what they need, what are the problems they find not to be able to concentrate or to be productive or to feel tired during the day. And now that we collected quite an information from the different kind of people and the different kind of job they do, we want to integrate all these areas, like with the 4 C's as well, like concentration, collaboration, communication, and chill out, like it's really, really necessary. We started going, okay, we are fulfilling. And one of these, like when we have a pregnant women in the office, they have to have a place where they can lay down, a sofa,
So
a
this room will
sessel.
also be like for...
We are creating more areas, different areas, yeah.
Nice.
The
This is
sofa in the Ahoy room is
It's a
basically
sofa
a
bed.
day bed.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's a sofa bed.
Yeah, so basically, when we were looking for this office, we did basically a big
It's very
research
colorful.
project inside the company. That's what Anna was talking about. Like basically, she asked like everybody, but more on a more generic basis. We have every 3 months employee feedback. Everybody gives feedback to the
do you
company.
do
Google Forms,
Yeah.
very simplistic. Basically, it's built based on NPS,
Yeah.
a Net Promoter Score, and then they have 2 fields to fill out, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
Like we don't use any specific tool for it. And yeah, this room is universum, and
It's a
basically
brainstorming, playing
since
room.
it's the meeting room most far away, it's used for all kinds of workshops. So here we just did for the venture building unit design sprint for 2 weeks. Or basically 2 design sprints, and you see all the results from customer interviews. Basically, this is our 4th whiteboard idea we tried.
There's a
the
paint,
wallcolour, the
Yeah.
paint.
But it doesn't
Don't
really,
do it.
No.
See, it doesn't
Yeah.
really come off. Or
It doesn't
not
really come
easy.
off. You need a very specific cleaning stuff, and
it
it's
gets
just
like-
yeah.
Yeah.
So
And funny story, if you stand like this, you fall off. really so many people already almost fell. Yeah, because you start
It's a
standing like
sliding.
you normally stand and try
I
it.
would
It's
try,
like,
but
yeah, but then you get maybe not.
All the color on me, yeah.
Yeah, and those were actually the first. Was this also Lintex?
Yeah, this one will really like it because you can carry it with you.
Yeah.
I mean, theoretically, you
yeah,
maybe
but-
need two
but you
persons
also
to.
do-
No, that one. It's
That
just
goes really
because
well.
people used the wrong pen.
It's just we didn't have enough hours to clean up also the boards. But we need to show that we're also working. So yes, overall I think we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Now that we also learn how we wanted to work and configure our whole teams and squads in the company, and considering also acoustics, the different kinds of areas we want to create. A big challenge in a company that is growing really fast, and it's not only our situation, but other companies have the same situation. They're growing, and changing constantly. We need flexibility, and flexibility is something that we really want to implement here. Like whatever room changes the uses, oh no, now we install this here and we have to move it somewhere else. So walls are a situation, and flexible furniture. The desk we want to integrate further is going to be some desks that are easy to change the level, movable with wheels. So if we use this meeting room as a meeting room, but suddenly we want to do a workshop, we can move it and use the whole area to create a workshop area, and also use it then as a meeting room. Chairs also come in that we can do more interactive and not so steady. We don't want to come to meetings where you have to stay sitting. We're not lawyers, or so it's more flexibility is the key to everything.
That was a mean prejudice there.
Yeah, I mean, you go there and just sign contracts.
Everyone can, and there's another
So-
playroom.
Yeah, we wanted to create a playroom here with video gaming and everything, but still in progress, and maybe we'll delay a little more.
So this is for running and working at the same time?
Yeah, it was a nice experiment. It's not so often
It doesn't
used.
work.
Try to type. Maybe when voice recognition works really, really good, but as long as you need to type.
What really works is that we have lots of mats there for sports. And we really used to do sports, 10-minute sports every day in the open area. Now, not anymore, but we are planning to do it again. Like when we used to do it, people just can join from 10 to 10:15, for example.
Yeah, like a mini Pilates session, one
and
Pilates.
they grab their mats, and people were just enjoying to take this little break.
And we're always trying to have what's most necessary for each team, right? So in Gilching, for example, our outskirts Munich office, there is no gym around, at least no nice gym. So what we have since, I don't know how long, 4 or 5 years, is a personal trainer coming in twice a week and doing sports with everybody who wants. So that's a benefit. We don't have it in Hamburg, because in Hamburg, everybody who wants to do sports can do sports.
Theoretically.
Could do sports, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but so that's like, again, we never tried to say, hey, we need sports, but some people said, hey, I would love to do sports, but there's nothing around here. So then we said, okay, let's find a solution.
And we are still working on what are going to be the benefits for 2019 that is more fair and equal regarding the needs of our colleagues, and that is really useful. So
one thing maybe to mention about the meeting rooms before we finish the meeting room topic is what you see definitely is that we're using kind of low profile electronics. So we don't use like the super sophisticated microphone with beamforming arrays or stuff.
Not sure that the setup, but it looks quite familiar to what we
Exactly. And I'm really thankful because Christoph, in the end, we tried I think 7 or 8 different things, everything above 3,000 euros. And then we talked to Christoph and he said, try the Logitech group.
We're really
it doesn't
happy.
look super fancy, but honestly, it just works. And since then we just scaled it and we realized that acoustics in the room plus proper internet connection is way more
it.
important than the actual microphone, because that you reach actually the limit of these microphones. If you have like the 2 satellites, that's always okay. You can even stand at the wall and talk.
We have in a meeting using I'm not going to mention the name again, otherwise we have to put advertising on it.
Yeah, right.
We have an all-hand meeting,
Lots
which was
of,
30 people in the Blick fan, and it worked
works?
perfectly
It works,
fine.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it
It's
works.
good to know.
It's not like you can obviously get like 20% more, but for us it works. And we're not externally financed, so everything we do needs to make sense, and we're not throwing away money. So we're using, for example, it's kind of shady, but we're using old MacBooks or Lenovo's, which are like outfaced from the team as a meeting room computer.
I mean, we
and
still
it
need
works.
to figure out the cables.
Doesn't look
because-
beautiful.
Yeah.
The cables
Okay, this
are
one was
always
like the
problem,
worst
and I
example.
don't get it. I mean, we fly to the, and we still don't get the cable.
I don't
issue
get it,
solved.
right? Yeah, why they don't manage to transmit electricity wireless?
Wireless, electricity.
I mean, it works
Well,
already, but not.
a new venture project.
I sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another concept is
No,
that
you sit over there
I sit on over there, you sit over there.
in the employee impact team.
What we wanted also to do is, at the beginning, Stefan had his office there, and Christoph in Gilching has his own office as well. But we want to have this contact directly with, interact with the teams. So we decided no offices for the board. They will just sit in between the people and learn from them, listen to them, be in contact and reachable. And that was a very important step we did to change this.
Yeah, I never felt good in an office anyhow. Like, I hated it.
Yeah.
And I always told everybody, if I ever close the door, it's because I don't want to disturb you because I'm on the phone all day. So the only thing you have to take into consideration when getting rid of all the offices, you simply need more meeting rooms. That's like, because there are still a couple of one-on-ones going on, and I'm more on the phone than some other people in the company, and then you just need to get out of the open space, because otherwise you disturb 20 others because you do one phone call.
We tried lots of booths, of telephone booths in the Orgatec.
yes.
It's funny how from 2016 that there were just a couple of firmas.
There's so many.
And now
it's
you
crazy.
go, it's amazing, but we try some. We already have 2 that we got for Munich office because it's really small and they are struggling with the meetings and concentration.
Actually, Christoph and I visited a couple of companies in the Bay Area 3-4 weeks ago, and we went to Juul, like these e-cigarettes, crazy evaluated company, and they were experimenting. It might have been that one, but looking into it like in person, they said they scaled together with it, so they had some early prototypes. And I was actually really surprised how good the quality at the Orgatec was compared to these things.
Okay.
But it's really hard to find out which are the copycats and which are the originals.
Yeah, it's true. I remember I was walking into Orgatec and I'm like, okay, there's just too many. I'm not going to sit in like 50 of these boxes.
And
We did.
yeah,
I can give you feedback about it.
I'm very sensible to loud and multiple noises, so I enjoyed it, always sitting in it. But I have to admit that none of them has solved the air circulation.
No,
100%.
there's one at the end, you were not there, and one.
Sorry.
Yes.
How much time did you spend in there though?
Actually, he went a whole day just for that. I was 2 days there, but we were in the search of these solutions for acoustics, for medias, for elements that we can bring. And trying them there was the best thing because you have all to test. At the end, we wanted that is sound properly and you don't feel so claustrophobic, that the science is also nice, that the air system is nice and fresh, but also movable. This topic of the flexibility.
It's really crazy. Most of them are not movable. You have to disassemble them and assemble them 10 meters further again. And I'm like, no.
One of the offers, because we have their acoustic elements here, they are offering these cabins, and you just come, you put out the frame and come with the, how is this called? That you lift the pallets? And move the whole cabin element to another area. And they also have offered with a Klimaanlage system that the irrigations, air conditioning system, that the water of the system irrigates a wall of plants.
Nice.
And it's really beautiful. Yeah. So I hope we can.
But you can also spend a shitload of money on them.
We'll link it for
you.
you.
For Hush. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. And Stefan, it was really, it was really,
Thanks for
really
coming
nice.
by.
Yeah, thanks for letting me spontaneously, dig into your day.
Cool.
And steal so much of your time.
Very welcome.
It was super interesting. I hope you guys liked it as well. Leave your comments in the how do you call it, MP? in the comments field, comment field. And thank you so much. Is there something we missed? We
would have loved to show you the rooftop terrace, but
it's dark
look
and
out,
rainy.
it's dark and rainy. Let's stay
But
inside.
we
It's
can
more
quickly just
cozy.
take a look outside.
Now you can see all the
Yeah, let's
outside.
go to the balcony.
No, that's also, of course, why didn't we? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the New Year feeling of the urban
Yeah, that's like what you talked about.
I love it. Yeah, I love
a
it.
little bit of metropolitan.
Yeah, it is a
feeling.
little
It's
bit,
just
right?
5%, but it's enough. Let's
This
go.
little bit, yeah.
Nice. Thank you. It was very much fun.
Cool.
Thank you to all of you, to both of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.